If there's one thing the NFL never runs short on, it's noise. And not just from the crowd. Some of the league's fiercest legends didn't just dominate with raw strength or freakish speed. They did it while running their mouths at full volume. These athletes were talking storms of confidence, daring anyone to stop them. And most couldn't. In a league built on grit, pain, and split-second glory, a few players turned trash talk into an art form and then made sure they delivered every bit of what they promised. This is a look at the biggest mouths in NFL history, who didn't just talk the talk, they bulldozed their way through the field to prove it. 1. Deion Sanders. There's never been another athlete like Deion Sanders, not just in football, not just in baseball, anywhere. He wasn't a player who happened to be flashy, he was the show. The only person to ever play in both a World Series and a Super Bowl, and not just play, dominate. On the football field, he locked down receivers like a shutdown corner written into a comic book. On the diamond, he hit over .500 in the World Series while still rocking a Falcons jersey. But what truly separated him was his mouth. Loud, unapologetic, and unmissable. "They don't pay nobody to be humble," he once said, and he lived every second of his career by that line. Primetime wasn't a nickname, it was a brand. Whether he was high-stepping into the end zone or striking a pose on the sideline, Deion knew how to grab the moment and then back it up with play that belongs in gold. Decades later, that same energy fuels him in Colorado, still commanding attention, still impossible to ignore. He talked, he taunted, and he always delivered. 2. Richard Sherman. The moment Richard Sherman batted down that NFC Championship pass and let the world know exactly what he thought of Michael Crabtree, that was the moment his voice became part of football history. But Sherman wasn't just a loudmouth with a camera in front of him. He was sharp, calculated, and dangerous. Trash talk was part of his game plan, not just noise. He grew up in Compton, earned his way into Stanford, and carried both street smarts and book smarts onto every field he stepped on. He broke down receivers like homework assignments, calling out their stats, exposing their flaws, and getting under their skin without ever breaking his own focus. He embarrassed opponents, rattled egos, and did it all while anchoring one of the greatest secondaries the league has ever seen. He didn't care if it was a wideout, a coach, or even a TV analyst. Just ask Skip Bayless how that went. Sherman made sure the talking never stopped. Neither did the winning. 3. Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis didn't speak like a typical trash talker. He sounded like a man delivering a warning. Every hit came with a message. Every roar after a tackle was a statement. Lewis wasn't out there to joke, around or trade sarcastic jab. He came to let you know this game wasn't for the weak. If you lined up across from him, you were in his world. His voice, his energy, his presence, every bit of it was overwhelming, and his opponents felt it. He'd knock you into the dirt, stare into your soul, and let you know you didn't belong on the same field. That wasn't arrogance. That was Ray Lewis being the emotional center of a Baltimore defense built around fear. He led with intensity, but the words were just the spark. The fire? That came every Sunday in shoulder pads and face paint, daring anyone to try and match it. 4. Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn Lynch didn't run his mouth the way most loud players do. He didn't need to. The way he played was the message. And when he did speak, it stuck. Whether it was, "I'm just here so I won't get fined," or that now infamous line about running through someone's face over and over again, every word hit like his runs. Straight, powerful, and impossible to ignore. From 2011 to 2014, no one in the league was scarier with the ball in their hands. He didn't just score, he broke defenses. And when he exploded with that beastquake run, shaking defenders in an entire stadium, it was clear that Lynch wasn't just a great back. He was a cultural force. He brought swagger to silence, attitude to action, and when the Seahawks won the Super Bowl, Lynch wasn't just part of it. He was the edge that made it all possible. 5. Steve Smith Sr. Steve Smith Sr. never needed a filter, just a football and someone foolish enough to line up across from him. He built a career off raw intensity, relentless grit, and a mouth that ran just as fast as his routes. Trash talk was an extension of his game. He'd tell you exactly what he was going to do, then make it hurt twice as much by doing it anyway. By the time he walked away from the league in 2017, he made sure his final words were on brand, telling the commissioner himself that he'd no longer be antagonizing defensive backs. But this wasn't just bark. Smith led the league in receptions, yards, and touchdowns in 2005, piled up over 14,000 receiving yards, and delivered double-digit 1,000-yard seasons like clockwork. He still holds every major receiving record in Panthers history and left defenders bruised both physically and emotionally. Whether laying a hit or landing a line, Smith played every down like it was personal and made it his mission to let everyone know about it. 6. Terrell Owens. If there was a spotlight, Terrell Owens found it and made it bigger. He wasn't just a wide receiver, he was a performance. Pulling a Sharpie out of his sock, dancing on the cowboy star, telling the world to get your popcorn ready, T.O. lived for the chaos and he thrived in it. He was loud, brash, and unfiltered, but when the game started, he turned into a matchup nightmare. With broken bones or broken headlines, he showed up and delivered. That's your Super Bowl performance on a healing leg? Legendary. The drama with McNabb, the headlines with Romo, the viral interviews. Owens kept the NFL buzzing and then went out and stacked up yards and touchdowns that still rank among the best ever. He made defenders look silly, and he let them know about it right after. 7. Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe brought the volume, the venom, and the wins. From the huddle to the locker room to the post-game mic, he never stopped talking, and there was never a reason he should have. 3 Super Bowl rings, a Hall of Fame jacket, and a stat sheet loaded with All-Pro and Pro Bowl honors gave every word real weight. He had that Southern charm mixed with ruthless delivery, slicing through defenders with both his hands and his mouth. He once called the National Guard from the sideline, on the phone, and told them to come get the Patriots because it was getting ugly. That's Shannon. He ran routes, ran his mouth, and ran up the score. And after football, he took the same attitude to TV, where he's still firing off takes with the same heat he used to bring over the middle. Loud, always, but wrong, almost never. 8. Chad Johnson. Ocho Cinco. There wasn't a single moment Chad Johnson didn't think he was the best receiver on the planet, and he made sure the world heard about it. From calling himself Ocho Cinco, so defenders wouldn't forget his number, to claiming it'd be easier to find Osama bin Laden than cover him, the confidence never slowed down. But this wasn't just empty noise. Chad turned Cincinnati, a team stuck in the shadows, into must-watch television. He danced, he clowned, he paid fines like they were parking tickets, and somehow made a small-market franchise feel bigger than life. Whether bribing referees mid-review with a dollar bill or pulling out props mid-celebration, Chad made Sundays his stage. But for all the flash, the truth stayed the same. Route after route, Johnson found separation. Defensive backs knew it, coaches knew it, fans knew it, and he told everyone, loudly. Love it or not, he always came to back it up. 9. John Randall. John Randall wasn't just talking to rattle cages, he was tearing through offensive lines while doing it. Undersized for a defensive tackle, most didn't expect him to last long in the trenches. That's where they messed up. Randall made a career out of defying expectations and talking nonstop while doing it. He'd learn an opponent's hometown, their college stats, even personal family details, then use it against them during the game. He didn't care if it was before the snap, during the play, or after the whistle. His mouth never stopped moving, but neither did his motor. Randall racked up over 130 sacks, earned All-Pro honors, and bulldozed his way into the Hall of Fame. Every play started with energy, ended with chaos, and somewhere in between, there was Randall laughing, jawing, and wrecking game plans. The mouth made him infamous. The game made him unforgettable. 10. Tom Brady. Tom Brady didn't need to run his mouth every week, but when he did, it hit different. He wasn't just playing the game. He was rewriting the rules of greatness, and he made sure the other side felt it. Opposing defenses knew the look, that locked-in glare, that sudden burst of fire, that "let's go" screamed inches from a linebacker's helmet. And when he told Tyrann Mathieu during the Super Bowl, "I'm coming for you," the next play was a touchdown. 7 rings, countless records, and 2 decades of dominance gave Brady the right to talk when he chose to. He didn't need theatrics. His control, his fire, and his refusal to lose said everything. He broke dynasties, buried doubters, and did it while reminding the world, quietly or not, that they were all playing in his league. 11. Warren Sapp. Warren Sapp turned trash talking into a weapon. His mouth ran just as fast as his first step, and together they terrorized offenses for over a decade. He didn't care who it was. Quarterbacks, coaches, even his own teammates got a taste of it. Sapp wasn't just looking to win. He wanted to dominate and humiliate. That relentless push off the line made him one of the most disruptive defensive tackles in NFL history, leading to 7 Pro Bowls, a Defensive Player of the Year award, and a Super Bowl ring. In 2000, he racked up 16.5 sacks, a number unheard of for his position. But he didn't wait for the play to speak for him. He let you know beforehand what was coming, then reminded you afterward just how bad it went. 12. Jared Allen. Jared Allen talked like he was born to do stand-up, then hit like he was built for demolition. Whether it was trashing cities, joking he'd rather drown than live in Detroit, or mocking linemen for being too slow, he kept the mic hot and the quarterback scrambling. But Allen was a certified menace. With 136 sacks, 5 Pro Bowl nods, and an endless supply of wild celebrations, he turned the edge rusher role into a spectacle. He hunted quarterbacks like it was personal. His technique was sharp, his effort relentless, and his personality loud enough to echo across divisions. Allen lived for the chaos, fed off the booze, and played with the swagger of someone who knew exactly how dangerous he was. And when it was all over, the numbers told the truth. He didn't just run his mouth, he ran the show. 13. Brian Dawkins. Brian Dawkins didn't trash talk the way most loudmouths did. His words weren't about disrespect, they were about electricity. Every hit, every roar, every pregame scream came from something deeper. Dawkins channeled his fire into a persona fans and teammates rallied behind. Weapon X wasn't just a nickname, it was a warning. Whether it was leveling tight ends, blowing up screens, or firing up an entire stadium with a speech, he made football feel personal. His hits became highlights. His emotion became fuel. And in Philly, he became more than a player, he was the pulse of a city.